Hello, this is Tim Shorn bringing you a presentation and video on freedom of speech and the dangers of internet censorship. So, first, what is freedom of speech? Freedom of speech is the right to express any opinions without censorship or restraint. Now, I believe that is a very important thing to have, because when everyone has an opinion, even though some opinions aren't particularly nice or they are quite controversial, no matter what, I believe that those opinions should be expressed and debated. For when people debate their opinions, and when we have a public forum where people are allowed to share their opinions, such as Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, well, not really now, since many of them are censoring their content. But I believe that once opinions are shared and debated, the more righteous opinion will come forth, and the other opinion will descend back down. If we have a discussion over, politics, we can agree, we can disagree. We don't need to start name-calling, and we don't need to start calling each other bigots. And we do not need to start trying to censor people, especially someone by the name of Tulsi Gabbard. Now, recently in October, Tulsi had a post shared by Hillary Clinton talking about how Tulsi Gabbard was being coerced by the Russians, and Tulsi responded with a call-out on Hillary, and many people supported Tulsi. But, along with this, in October, Tulsi's YouTube page, her campaign page, was intentionally, well, it wasn't shut down, but it was censored from American audiences. If you use a VPN to check her channel on from different countries, say Spain or France or anything like that, her channel on YouTube will pop right up. But, go over to here. But in America, during that time, there was a time where you could search up her YouTube channel. You could search up Tulsi Gabbard right up on search, and you would not see her. You wouldn't see anything related to her. You'd see other people's channels. You wouldn't see her campaign channel, and this was due to someone from YouTube intentionally censoring her channel from American audiences. So, I don't know about you, but I don't want an algorithm or a person to control what content.
Throughout our country's history, our freedom of speech has always been viewed through a single lens. That we, the American people, can express ourselves openly, we can share ideas, and we can peacefully protest without fear of punishment. We could exercise this right without any censorship, threat of arrest, or government intervention that would otherwise restrict our freedoms. Now, over the last 2 decades, technology has completely revolutionized how we as a society communicate. An enormous amount of public discourse now happens over the internet, where a very select handful of corporations yield enormous power over your access to information. And nearly 70% of all Americans now use Facebook. Google controls 88% of all internet searches in the United States, with 73% using their YouTube platform. So these two technology conglomerates, without any oversight, can decide who and what is seen or heard. They have banned voices who, while controversial and maybe even distasteful, have not incited violence or threatened others. Their sole offense was expressing a view that these corporations deemed unacceptable. In fact, Google has admitted on several occasions to suspending those who've not violated any of their terms of use. This alarming trend has been growing, with tech giants continuing to silence voices and restrict access to information. This concentration of power and influence is a direct threat to our democracy, which is why I've taken action against Google and will continue to advocate for breaking up these tech monopolies and ending their power to undermine our freedom of speech. We all must fight to protect and preserve the fundamental freedoms that make America the greatest nation on earth. So I'm calling upon you and all Americans to join me in this fight, whether we're progressives or conservatives, left or right. If we do not stand united in this struggle to protect our freedoms, we all lose.
A great example indeed. Speaking of examples, I thought of relating censorship to music. For an example of censorship, we can pull the example of a range of notes in music. Say, let's take the B-flat concert scale on the trombone. So, it's quite nice. I really like it. A lot of people like it. It's a very common scale. But let's say that some of the opinions on the lower half of it aren't really wanted. They seem to be a bit too far low, you know, far extreme. Let's try that. But as time goes on, those opinions near the fringes might get banned. They might seem to be a bit too far on the fringe, even though they weren't originally that far on the fringe before. Oh, so we're just down to 3 notes now. I guess we can make some music out of this, you know. Those 3 notes certainly do sound like something in a similar track to a lot of music today, where you just have the do 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 do. You know, I'm not too much a fan of that personally myself. There's not a wide range. There's not a wide range of opinions. There's not a diverse range of opinions. If you want to see an example of how YouTube censors its content creators, one prominent example is the YouTube preference score. The preference score is based on a number of vague categories that are ultimately determined by either people from YouTube or YouTube's algorithm. The P-score can demonetize videos, restrict videos from being recommended, or outright restrict the video to where you have to be a subscriber of the channel and you have to manually search to find a video. This P-score can give direct influence on how much a video is viewed or how far it can reach its audience. Think of yourself as someone who YouTube does not agree with politically or ideologically. Then think about how this could affect your career on YouTube and the growth of your channel.
Over 6 years ago, we created the preference score to surface among the most popular channels on YouTube. We drew on our best signals that were representative of user behavior, such as shares, likes, and repeat viewership. As the algorithm that drives Google Preferred, the preference score was an important step in bringing ratings into the engagement age. Traditional ratings were a measure only of popularity. To this, we brought a measure of passion. Now we can go even further, utilizing more signals that are representative of how users consume content today to help us find even more engaging channels and build your brand across YouTube. In other words, we're reinventing our ratings. And to recognize the improvements to our preference score, we're reintroducing it to the world as P-score. P-score is a more advanced proprietary algorithm designed to deliver robust channel selection improvements via an array of these 5 sophisticated signals. Popularity is driven by watch time, a proprietary metric that reveals repeat engaged viewership. Passion is based on how engaged an audience is with a channel. It uses several different kinds of signals to understand how often users interact with content. Protection continues to focus on content suitability by combining our latest classifiers with an added layer of validation so that P-score outputs are working for your brand. Platform highlights content that's more frequently watched on large screens, such as TV screens, by a rapidly growing audience of empowered viewers. Production includes content that employs sophisticated camera work and cinematic technique. And since we can access a multitude of proprietary signals that no third parties can, P-score is also proprietary. Popularity, passion, protection, platform, and production, all proprietary signals combined to surface among the most engaging and brand-appropriate content on YouTube across music, beauty and fashion, video gaming, and other key categories. And the P-score is updated regularly. So if there's a new star or breakthrough talent that meets brand suitability and other requirements, the P-score will automatically include them as part of Google Preferred the next time content is refreshed, for your brand to stay relevant with audience interests and behavior. How do we know these are the right signals to surface suitable content for your brand? Because a study examining over 5,000 YouTube campaigns demonstrated that channels with higher P-scores correlate to higher brand lift for advertisers around the globe and across devices. The right signals to find the best content to build your brand. That's Google Preferred, powered by the new P-score.
So, I don't know about you, but I don't want an algorithm or a person to control what content is prioritized. After the P-score was discovered in YouTube's open source code, and word of it spread around, less than a short time later, YouTube hid the P-score code from the open source code. But before YouTube was able to hide the code, a few YouTubers were able to do a deep dive into the code, and were able to compile a list of the top 200 channels on the P-score system. Not only do their findings suggest that YouTube is using various proprietary internal metrics to suppress YouTubers, but they also show that corporate brands, Hollywood stars, and YouTube's so-called authoritative sources are often given preferential ratings. Broadcast yourself? Not anymore. This is just one of the examples of a mainstream website censoring content. Many other mainstream websites are now finding ways to censor opinions and to block people's speech. Recently, people who want to freely voice their opinions and share them online have needed to resort to finding alternative websites. I want sites that bring millions of people together on a platform to not be censored, and have users demonetized or banned since their opinions do not match big tech's opinion. I believe that it is up to the viewer's responsibility to take discretion and to respect others' opinions, like on Twitter. Well, since I'm about to go on Twitter, I better get myself prepared here. Let's see here. Alright, ready to read those comments. In conclusion, we need to stop censorship from controlling what we are allowed to see. Thank you.